Okay, we get
No,
go
this
back
is
to the
Bhagavad Gita.
today's
So
chapter.
what the verse you're referring to is from the 11th chapter, text 33. So let's open it up to 1133.
I
think it's important, Gulshan, because you're questioning it, and Abhay's the only one that can answer it that we know. So,
And therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory, conquer your enemy and enjoy flourishing kingdom. They are already put to the death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. If he's an instrument, that or we all are instrument, then why would be affected by karma?
That's a good question. So we'll discuss that. The first thing is that your basic principle you're basing that on, that it's all done by Krishna's arrangement, is wrong. It's actually our arrangement. And that's why we do get the karma, because it's our arrangement, not Krishna's arrangement. And why do I say it's our arrangement, not Krishna's arrangement? Because yes, Krishna is arranging in one sense, but after we make a desire. So we make a desire, and then Krishna will arrange a situation according to that desire. The only time when it's really Krishna's arrangement is when Krishna wants something to happen and you agree to do what he wants. Then whatever happens as a result of that, that's Krishna's arrangement.
If the Krishna wants something to happen, there is no way in the world you can desire something else. I can guarantee for that.
No, this is where you've made a mistake, because you got to understand the basic principle. We're talking about the material world. We're not talking about the spiritual world. We're talking about the material world, where Krishna is giving the soul free choice. Now, free choice means you can decide to do what Krishna wants, or you can ignore what Krishna wants and just do what you want. And Krishna gives you complete freedom to do that. And then, whichever way you go, then if you do what Krishna wants, you don't get any karma. If you do what you want, and he'll arrange that can manifest, if it's your karma, then you got to accept responsibility for the reactions for that, because it's what you want. And a beautiful example Prabhupada gives us, if a man fights for the government in the wartime, he can kill thousands of people and he doesn't get any reaction for that. Well, in one sense, he does get a reaction, but it's a positive one. It's called a medal. He'll get a medal. But if he goes out, the same guy goes out in the peacetime and just of his own accord shoots one person, he's going to get a big reaction. That's called going to jail, or the maximum will be the death penalty. So he can't go and say, well, I killed thousands of people in the wartime and nothing happened. Now I just killed one. So what's the difference? The difference is, in the war, he's working under an authority, so he doesn't get a reaction. Outside of that, if he does anything on his own accord, then he gets a reaction for that.
So your wife and 2 kids was your desire or Krishna's will?
Hang on, just hold that thought for a sec. I'm just going to tell something to some walkers and I'm going to come right back.
Okay. How are you doing, Bhaktimala?
good. I just want you to get some help on this, because
it's fine, because
talking about it for a few weeks now, and I think that's what Abhay's here to do, is to help us.
I just feel like to be complete surrender. I don't want to use my brain. Just follow the heart to love Krishna. That's it. Brain is always calculating. If I do something, what do I get? What do I don't get? What's the profit? What's the loss? What's the benefit? That's it. Brain always calculate, but the heart doesn't calculate. Heart is just follow. If you love someone, you say you fall in love. You don't say rise in love, isn't it? So if your heart follow the Krishna, anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so back to your question. So my getting married, is that my arrangement or Krishna's arrangement? It's my arrangement. So it's my arrangement. I had a desire. And to get married, which was actually good for me. Even an astrologer said it's better for you to be married. You know, the mind will be more peaceful and everything. That's the whole idea of that. But yeah, it's my arrangement. Then Krishna arranged it. Krishna arranged to find whatever kind of partner. And like that. So one time, just one more thing. One time Prabhupada said, the devotee said something bad happened. And the devotee said in front of Prabhupada, that was Krishna's arrangement. And Prabhupada said, no, that was your foolishness. Did you get that?
Yes.
Something bad happened. The devotee said that was Krishna's arrangement. Prabhupada said, no, that was your foolishness.
So like my marriage was my foolishment or Krishna arrangement?
Well, no, it was our desire, and then Krishna arranged that desire can be fulfilled. You know, if you've got the karma, if you have the sufficient karma, then you may get what you desire. Like we've talked about before, you might desire a Mercedes-Benz, a BMW or something, but if you've only got $10,000 in your bank account, you probably won't get a Mercedes-Benz, but you'll get a Toyota Corolla. But you got some kind of car, but it depends. So the money in the bank, like if you had 100 grand, that's like you had the good karma, you can get the BMW. If you have, not much good karma, you might still get a car, but not as good. So you put in your desire, and according to that, if you've got the sufficient karma to get it, Krishna may give it to you. And it's not exactly Krishna giving it to you, because until you become a devotee, Krishna's not involved at all. It's really the super soul. It's the Paramatma, the super soul in the heart. And we can read verses about that too, why the super soul is there. And at 13th chapter, text 23, 13:23.
Yet in this body there is another one, a transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul.
So this is who is doing it. So overseer, what does that mean? A witness. So he's watching what you want, Gulshan Bhakti Malarabai. He's watching what you want. And then he's the permitter. Okay, yeah, we'll give that to Gulshan, we'll give that to Bhakti Mala, we'll give that to or no, I'm not going to give it. And this is when you become a devotee, what might happen, that he takes special interest in your life when you become a devotee. And then if you want something foolish, he might not give it. Now, ordinarily, the super soul's not going to be partial. But when you become a devotee, then it's not just the super soul anymore. That's Krishna himself is taking special interest in you because you have surrendered to him.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Is that right? Like if we desire something, for example, I desire BMW or beautiful wife or something like that. And if the Krishna can see it, no, you don't need discussion. So he can arrange to change my thoughts. Krishna can arrange to change my thoughts. And then I said, no, I don't need it, actually, beautiful wife and BMW. It's all like, thoughts has changed. But it doesn't me. I just want to take I out of this situation. Krishna will change the thoughts. And I said, I don't need the BMW anymore. And then my friend will say, so Bhakti, last week you were saying and talking and went to the repayment and stuff like that. And this week you say you don't need it anymore because Krishna thinks that it's going to be too much for me or any number of reason.
Yeah.
And then he can change my thoughts.
That what you're talking about, that's a natural byproduct of bhakti, which is called Gyan and Vairagya. Gyan and Vairagya, it's a byproduct of bhakti. So when you do bhakti, the service for the Lord, then he enlightens you in your heart. And that's Gulshan's favorite verse, 10:10, that he enlightens you in your heart, and 10:11. Then when you have that knowledge in your heart, then you realize I don't need this. It's not good. I don't need it. It's not good for me. Then Vairagya comes, then detachment. Then you just let it go. I remember when I first met Gulshan, he had a very fancy car, and now he has a very simple car, or a simple van. You know, so you can just see over the period of time,
it's not
how
me. It's
the
Krishna
material
did it.
desires get let off.
I don't think so. It's me. It's done by someone up there. I don't think so. I did it something. Or I did it. It's done
Yeah,
by
but you. So now we're talking about after someone comes to devotional service.
Yeah. Once you
Then
come to
Krishna's personally involved.
yeah.
And if you desire something that's not good for you, then he might not give it to you, or he might give it to you, what you want, but in such a way that you'll become completely fed up and frustrated and exhausted through it. So he's giving it to you, but like in a medicinal dose. So, okay, you want that beautiful woman or whatever, that handsome man, I'll give it to you, but in such a way that you'll just fry you out.
Short period of
Fry
time.
you out, and then
And never want it
Krishna, I'm
again.
sorry, Krishna, I come back to you, Krishna.
Bhakti Mala,
save
I
me.
got that for short period of time.
It. And we've all
Short
experienced
period of
that.
time.
Yeah.
But
So my first wife was that lesson Krishna gave me, that, I came running back to Krishna. I'm sorry, Krishna. I shouldn't have wanted that. So
Krishna says
and
too late. Parcel already left for the delivery.
Yeah, but still, it's not a waste of time. It was a good experience of what not to do. So, we learn things in two ways, what to do and what not to do. So if we're more intelligent, we'll learn what not to do just by hearing. Like you hear from the scriptures, hear from the guru. The guru says, don't do this, but still we're dumb, we do it. And then you'll learn, like the parent, Prabhupada gives the example. The parent tells the kid, don't touch the hot stove. Don't touch the hot fire. But of course, the kid's dumb. The kid's dumb, and still he touches it. And then he's not going to touch it again after.
Now, my philosophy is slightly different. I don't say don't touch it, experience it. Then he'll learn. Whatever he learned from his experience, he'll never forget. He maybe forget what I say, but he learned from his experience. He burn his finger, he's never going to forget. I said, experience it.
Never going to forget. But it's a painful process, and it takes longer.
Yeah, experience it.
But for those that are very intelligent, they can just by once hearing, they can accept that.
It's like there's a horse. There's some kind of horse, you have to whip it. Okay. There's some kind of horse they can run from the shadow of the whip. Doesn't need to whip. They run from the shadow. Just look at the shadow and run. So it's like there is a donkey and there is a horse. The only horse can run in the horse race. Donkey can't. Both are animal. Now you can ask a question: why can't the donkey run in the race? Only the horse can. Both are animal. If you can teach horse, why can't you teach donkey? The only thing is, donkey thinks he knows. That's a problem. If the person thinks he knows, you can't teach him. So you have to hit him hard. Donkey, that's the only way he can run. But the horse can run the shadow of the whip.
Yeah.
So he's willing to learn. Donkey thinks that I know that. So he closed the door of learning.
Are we only puppets if we surrender to wanting to do what Krishna wants us to do? We're not puppets if we still haven't surrendered.
No, you are. No, you are. No, I mean, everything is done by the modes of material nature, which is ultimately under Krishna's control. So even the full-on materialist desires sex, drugs, rock and roll. Yeah, in one sense, indirectly, Krishna is arranging that. But you have to get the karma for that, because he's arranging it not according to what he wants. This is the important point that you try to understand. He's making the arrangements, but according to what you want, not according to what he wants.
Or what you need.
Hang on. But a devotee means Krishna is also making the arrangements, but according to what he wants, Krishna wants, not according, and the devotee's being an instrument for doing what Krishna wants. Whereas the materialistic person is an instrument for what they want, and Krishna's arranging that. So there's a big difference. So when Krishna's making an arrangement for what you want, you get the karma. But when Krishna's making an arrangement and you're going along with that, what he wants, then you don't get the karma. Like I said, if you fight for the government, you don't get anything. If you fight for yourself, you get punished. Like that. So in both ways, Krishna's moving your hand. Krishna's moving your legs and everything. But there's a big difference, because if you moved your hands and legs to go to the casino, which Krishna, the Paramatma is doing that, making your hands and legs walk to the casino, but that's according to what you want to go to the casino. Does Krishna want you to go to the casino? No, you want to go to the casino. Krishna's helping you to go there, but you got to get the reaction. Whereas if you use your hands and legs to distribute books or go in Harinam or go to the temple or whatever for Krishna's service, then you don't get any reaction for that. So even though you squash all the ants on the way to the temple or on Harinam and whatever happens, you hit a possum on the road or something to go into the temple, but you don't get a reaction for that, because your Krishna's making the arrangement according to what he wants. You have dovetailed your desire with Krishna's. And that's the big lesson of the Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight, but Arjuna did not want to fight. At the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight, and Arjuna accepted that desire and wanted the same thing. So there was a duality, a difference in the beginning. Krishna said yes to fighting, Arjuna no. In the end, Krishna's still the same. Yes to fighting, Arjuna yes to fighting. So Arjuna had the free choice to not fight or fight, but he lined up his desire with Krishna's desire. And that's one of the lessons of Bhagavad Gita, that we should try to line up our desires with Krishna's, not go against what Krishna wants. Not go against what Krishna wants. Like Gulshan's pointing out from this verse, Krishna has a plan that everyone's going to die on that battlefield, that no one's going to go home. That's Krishna's plan. And Krishna's pointing out here, Arjuna, I want you to be my instrument for this plan. And he's pointing out that if you don't agree to be my instrument to fight, I'll get someone else to do it. And they're going to get the glory, because that's what's pointed in this verse. If you do this, be my instrument, Arjuna, you're going to get the credit. You're going to get the glory. You're going to get the kingdom. And if you don't, someone else is going to get it. One way or another, Krishna has a plan. It will happen. But the point is, do you want to take part in Krishna's plan, or do you want to make your own plans?
No more own plan, just Krishna's plans.
My plans don't work out very well.
I did it plan for last 55 years, and every time I went to the ditch. So no more plan. No.
Yeah. So yeah, the basic part of your equation that you mentioned in your question was wrong. Was that you're saying, whatever we're doing is Krishna's arrangement. That's wrong to think like that. And Brett didn't obviously know that either, so he agreed that it was our arrangement. It's not our arrangement.
The birth and death also in Krishna's hand, isn't it? You got 2 kids. I've got 1 daughter. Brett got 3 sons. So it's like your desire, or if the Krishna's like Krishna know who's gonna birth and die. So these 3 boys, or I've got 1 daughter, or you got 2 kids. So it's like, there was your desire, or was in the past or something, and Krishna will, implementing the desire and give you 2 kids, boy and a girl.
Yeah, Krishna is implementing the desire.
But then, when did you desire in the past life, or you desired this life, or you don't know?
Well, there's old desires that are getting fulfilled now, and there's also new desires coming up.
So which you never gonna find out.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows from their own mind, right? Every day you've got thousands of desires coming out every day.
Yeah.
So there's so many things. And we're actually, Prabhupada pointed this out, until we surrender to Krishna, we're making Krishna's life very difficult. Because his job is to try to fulfill all of our stupid desires, and you're giving him a headache.
You can't. One time, that's his job. That's it. No. He's the supreme personality of Godhead.
Why would you, if you love someone, why would you give them distress? Why would you give them a headache? You want to relieve their headache.
And it's when you love someone, you have got every right to be with them, or take in them or help them or take help from
why
them.
Would you hurt? Why would you want to do something that hurts someone you love?
That's your mind. You hurt. You're not hurting Krishna. No way. No one can hurt Krishna. What are you talking about?
Krishna. Krishna's a person. He has
Person,
feelings.
but he's
You
a
think he's insensitive?
Person. He's
no,
not
Krishna's
like
the most
you
sensitive person.
Yeah, but
he's the most sensitive person.
He doesn't get hurt. What are you talking about? He's
the
creator of three,
Because he wants us all to turn towards him, that's what he wants. We're his children. He wants us to
Why
to
does
love
Krishna
him
incarnate in the first place? Because he loves us. He's unhappy that we're suffering in the material world.
Why
does he tell us to surrender in the Bhagavad Gita? Because he wants us to give up all our nonsense and come back to him and have a good life. Why is when Lord Nityananda got hit by Jagai and Madai, why was Lord Chaitanya so angry?
That was a
who's going to kill the guy? So he has feelings. He has so many feelings, more than us. He's much more sensitive to us. Prabhupada said that Krishna feels the suffering of the living entities in the material world just like we would feel if a pin was stuck into your body.
Really?
Yeah. Think about that.
I'm not convinced. I just feel like
everything is within Krishna, right? So everything is like Krishna's body. Yeah. So if you stuck a pin in any part of your body, your toe or your leg or your hand or whatever, your whole body feels that pain. Your whole body feels. If there's a pain in the tip of your pinky, the whole body feels that pain.
Our body made of the 5 material nature, but the Krishna's body not made of 5 material natures. So how can Krishna get hurt? No way.
Gulshan, come on. You can't remember what we read in the 7th. Let's go back to the 7th chapter. Text 4.
7.
No, text 5.
7th
chapter.
Okay.
That's why I told you he's having a crisis of faith.
No, it's all right. It's good to question this, not blindly follow.
Beside these,
I like that 4. Text 4. Text 4.
Yeah, 4. Okay. Yeah, 4. I'm on the 4. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and force. You go all together. These 8 constitution my separated material energy.
Yeah, and text 5, which says the soul.
And beside
so that's all there is.
Beside this almighty arm, Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entity who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature.
So that's everything in the material world is either the material energy, 8 elements, 5 gross, 3 subtle, and the spiritual soul. And Chris is saying it's all my energy. So it's all connected to him. There's nothing separate from him. He's conscious of everything in the material. This body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and space, mind, intelligence, and false ego with a soul in it. And if there's something going on with this, Krishna knows. He's aware of that. He's not unconscious of that. He feels that. He feels that.
Okay.
There's one purport Prabhupada says later on in the Bhagavad Gita where Prabhupada mentions that it's not good to do unnecessary austerities which inflict miseries on the body because that disturbs the super soul. How about that? That it mentions there that disturbs the super soul.
But if you're doing for Krishna,
like some people will stick a needle through one side of the face, out the other, stand on hot coals and put, hang a hook off their, body and everything like that. And Prabhupada's saying that this unnecessarily disturbs the super soul. So, Krishna's aware. Krishna's not blind to our miseries. He feels that pain. He feels that pain. I mean, why do we call one of Krishna's names as Hrishikesha? Hrishikesha means the master of the senses. That means that ultimately he's in control of all of our senses, our eyes, our nose, our tongue. He's the one that's experiencing through all of our senses. So he's not unaware of what we're going through, the pleasure and pain and everything like that. He knows everything, past, present, and future, everything like that. So anyone that's a devotee doesn't want to give a disturbance to Krishna. We want to give pleasure to Krishna. Bhakti means you want to please Krishna. You don't want to make Krishna unhappy like that, and you know, by furthering our suffering and so forth like that. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we, you know, people can misunderstand. That's why we need to hear from the guru. You know, I spend a lot of time, you know, hearing from Prabhupada, and he, you know, helps me to understand things properly. But yeah, if on our own, if we just look at the scriptures, we can come to many wrong conclusions. So yeah, we have to be careful. And if you just think that, oh, everything's Krishna's arrangement, and but it's not quite like that. Yeah, Krishna's allowing everything to happen, but that doesn't mean because he's allowed it to happen that he wants it to happen.
So, for example, there is a one girl become a prostitute in India. They're not doing the prostitute by choice. They're forcefully in the prostitute. And then she's been tortured physically, mentally, abused, and which is like not my daughter, not your daughter, but they're also someone's daughter. Maybe her past karma, isn't it?
You can say past karma.
But
it is.
My question is, in order to give it an action on this past karma, somebody has to come, like the person who will abduct it and then put something, steroid or something like that, in order to allow that to bring to this prostitution place or something like that. Somebody has to bring it. So that person, it's like he create the bad karma for himself, but he has to order to give it that, because Krishna is not going to come to take it, that one girl from the abandoned town to become prostitution, because her luck was like before, you know, his past life was something bad, and Krishna said you have to pay back because your daughter didn't come, my daughter didn't come, this one girl came, and then there was a bad karma. But who give it an action to that bad karma? Some person has to be put sniffing some drugs to, you know, put in the bag or something like that, or gunpoint or something to bring there. Who's that person?
Yeah, but all these people with their own bad karma are coming together to be instruments for fulfilling other people's bad karma. So it's very complex, as you know. Karma is very complex. But what we can say is that it's impossible to suffer without having done some bad karma. And it's impossible to enjoy without having done some good karma. You know, so we're all a mixed bag. We've done some good things, some bad things. Even you see, you know, some devotees might have some suffering in different areas, physically, mentally, or whatever. But in one sense, maybe there's some bad karma there. But in another sense, they have such good karma because they came to Krishna consciousness, which is even beyond good karma. That's even more than good karma, is to come to Krishna consciousness. That's, you know, special mercy they've received like that. That's the ultimate like that. So we're all a bit of a mixed bag. But I mean, ultimately, anyone that's in the material world, if you look in the mirror and see a material body, you definitely have some bad karma. Because why did we leave Krishna? So actually, after we turn our back on Krishna, then we just get punished. We get punished. There's one beautiful verse by one of the acharyas saying that Krishna Bahimukha Haya Bhagavan Shakare Nikatastam Maya Japatiya Dare. So what that means is Krishna Bahimukha Haya. It means when the soul becomes inimical to Krishna. Inimical means turning away from Krishna. Bahir Mukha. Mukha means face and Bahir means outside. So when we turn our face away from Krishna, when we turn away from Krishna, go against Krishna's service, instead of wanting to serve Krishna, we want to enjoy without Krishna. So that's Krishna Bahimukha Haya. When the soul turns away from Krishna, and Bhoga Vanchakare, Bhoga means enjoyment, Vancha means desire. We have that free choice. We have it. We can desire to enjoy with Krishna or without Krishna. But this Bhoga Vancha means you desire to enjoy without Krishna. We turn away from Krishna. Why do we turn away? Because we want to enjoy without Krishna. And as soon as you've done that, what happens? This is very interesting. Nikatastha Maya. That means Maya, Krishna's powerful energy, Krishna's powerful Maya energy, who's standing very close to Krishna. She's Krishna's servant. When you turn away from Krishna and want to enjoy without Krishna, Maya, who's standing very close to Krishna, Japati Adare, she throws the soul down into the material world. Japati Adare means basically like thrown in the bin. You're thrown in the bin. You're tossed into the material world. And this is, you made a wrong choice, mate. Now you have to pay the price. You turned away from Krishna. So she's very dear servant of Krishna. She doesn't accept anyone's going to go against Krishna. You go against Krishna, Maya's going to thrash you.
No
like
chance.
That. So
of course, no chance.
Yeah, and then but that's good that we get that punishment, because then we'll give up that foolish desire to enjoy without Krishna. I'm sorry, Krishna, I made the wrong turn, a wrong choice. I want to come back to you. Then we turn back towards Krishna. So that's all we have to do, is turn back to Krishna again. And that's the process of bhakti yoga, is to turn back to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada said that the Maha Mantra means, "O Hare, energy of the Lord, O Krishna, my Lord, for so long I've turned away from you, but please now engage me in your service. Please engage me in your service." So, we're turning back to Krishna as soon as we start the chanting process and so forth. Turning back. We only eat food that's offered to Krishna. We only like hearing about Krishna, so we try to do everything, related to Krishna. And that's the process of going back, and then we're trying to prove ourselves to Krishna that he can trust us, that he can let us back inside the spiritual world again.
You only can do the efforts. Proving it's not your part. Krishna knows when your efforts are real or not real. He knows. Don't need any certificate for proving. It's just
but proving means, like they say, actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, but proving means
so you have to do something to show.
You're waiting for the result. That's Krishna says, don't worry about the results. Just action. It's my job. Whether I give you or 5,000 years time, I give you results, it's up to me. So no need proving. Just do it. He will know. And when the time is right, you know it. Anyway, come back to the verse. Okay.
So has that answered your question about Gosha?
Yes.
So I know we do get the karma if it's something that's not in line with what Krishna wants, absolutely.
Yes.
Then it's our arrangement.
It's very thin line between his leela and our karma. Sometimes I just doesn't really see, is that really my karma or was his leela? His leela is very, you cannot understand. Nobody can understand his leela. So it's really, is it my karma? Was his leela? It's very thin line in between. I don't even know. Sometimes I just think it's mine.
It's obvious.
It's like his leela is nobody can understand his leela. How does he do and what does he do? He's just the supreme. And sometimes you taking a credit, my karma. It's like, come on, man, that's his leela. And that's,
Krishna's activities are leela. Our activities are karma.
Yeah. So
we can't say. We can't say, "Oh, I got a divorce. That's Krishna's leela."
No.
That's our karma.
Sometimes it's leela, and then we think like, we did it, but that's his leela. We don't know what's his leela, what's our karma. It's like everything is. I know, like his leela is very deep.
You're from a Hindu background. Every Hindu knows that verse in the 4th chapter, text 6 and 7. So Krishna's leela is 6 and 7 there. Is paritranaya sadhanam vanashayatra diskutam dharma samstapanataya sambhavami yuga.
That's right.
4:8. So that's 4:7 and 4:8. Right. So he comes to deliver the devotees, annihilate the non-devotees, the demons, and re-establish religious principles.
Yeah.
He doesn't come to arrange marriages and divorces. That's not his leela.
Stop laughing,
That's our karma.
My marriage break. It doesn't mean you laugh. It's okay. We'll come back to the verse, today's verse.
Yeah.
The thunder start.
Yeah, so let's offer respect to Prabhupada.
About
huh?
Sorry, can I just ask you? I just got lost then. What are you talking about? We're part of Krishna's leelas. What do you mean by that?
No, Gulshan was saying that. I'm not saying
it's like
that.
I'm saying like, you know, it's like sometimes we sing it's air action, but sometimes that's his leela. It's very thin line in between that. What do you think, your action or his leela? Sometimes his leela is arranging, and then you think you are doing that. You know, sometimes you think you are doing that, but it's all his leela, and then you just taking the credit. Yes, it's my action or like things like that, and I'll get the result, whatever the result would be. But it's like if you look at the deep down there, yes, that's his leela, and he just very I'm just confused, like, you know, where his leela, where's my action?
Don't listen to Gulshan, Bhakti Mala. We'll show you. We'll show you. We'll show you. Okay, 18.
No, I'll talk to you in the Bhakti Mala in the Bhakti tree.
1858, around that area. Yeah, 1858.
Okay, 58. 58.
Activities just depend on me.
Yeah. If you compute,
work always under my protection. 58. If you become
that's also
conscious
good. It's also related. Yeah.
You will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost.
Yeah, so that's this is his leela. His leela is that we should work in consciousness of him, Krishna consciousness.
That's right.
So if you work in Krishna consciousness, which means you have to hear from Krishna, because it's saying hearing me, right?
Yes.
So Krishna consciousness means you're hearing from Krishna what Krishna wants, and you do that. That's his leela. If you don't, what is that? That's saying here you're acting through false ego, because you didn't hear from Krishna. So you act through your own false ego, and you think I'm the doer and everything like that. Then you're going to be lost, and that means you're in Maya. Right. You're completely in Maya. So, you know, the only Krishna's leela is if you act in Krishna consciousness and doing what Krishna wants. That's Krishna's leela. Like Krishna's leela is when you go on Harinam, distribute prasadam, distribute books. That's Krishna's leela. And you do, you know, you serve the deities in the temple. And like now we're talking about Krishna and everything. That's Krishna's leela. But if you're just acting, you know, from your mind and your senses, trying to please your mind and senses, then that's not Krishna's leela. Then that's Maya's leela, which is, you know, suffering leela, like that. So,
what are you trying to say, Gulshan? You can't tell the difference between Krishna's leela and your choices.
It's black and white. It should be black and white. It should be night and day.
Maybe I can't see because I can see all his leela. I don't know. I'm blind. Maybe all I can see is leela. He's the one. He's leela. He's the one doing it. I know.
You have to be careful.
I know I'm wrong, but it's just like I cannot see I'm doing anything. It's like a part of the surrender, man. I'm done. I'm just going to Ganges, just in a ripped dhoti, sitting down in the Ganges river. I'm done.
I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah, if I get a food or no food, that's fine. All done, man. That's right. My daughter, whose daughter, who's Abe, who's Bhakti Mala, gone. I'm going. That's what I feel like sometimes. And complete surrender.
I think Gulshan and Krishna's leela is Krishna's joker in the spiritual world.
Yeah, you can say that. I don't mind, but all his leela.
You're bringing entertainment to Krishna. That's good. That's perfect. That's perfection.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay, let's offer respect to Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Om Jnanatamandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmanatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master was kind and opened my eyes for the shining torchlight of knowledge. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances to his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we're continuing our reading of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 3, and chapter 10 entitled The Opulence to the Absolute, text 3. So we had read part of the purport, isn't it?
Yeah, halfway through. I think we have to start doing the anything done under the direction of Krishna. Next page.
Okay. Let's just read the translation.
Yes. So the purport. Okay.
No, just read the translation. He who knows.
Okay. He who knows me as unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all worlds, he only undiluted among men is freed from all sins.
Hmm.
One more question.
Yeah, so
I've got
is
that.
What's that?
My question is nothing to do with Bhagavad Gita. My shikha is getting thinner and thinner. I don't know what to do. I went to cut my hair. He said that he don't know, he's a Aussie. He said that your rat tail is getting thinner and thinner. And I said, why? He said, I don't know. And then I'm just like thinking like, I can't make a knot because it's just getting thinner and thinner and thinner. It's just like, okay, anyway, but it's a Krishna's Leela. I don't know. I did nothing.
No, I'll
Honestly.
tell you what it is. It's called old age.
Oh, thank you. Thank you being honest.
It's called old age. This is a sign,
Krishna's Leela? That's it. Old age also Krishna's Leela.
Yeah, to help us become detached from the body, yeah.
Okay, so I can show you that. Can you see my shikha now?
Yeah.
It's getting thinner and thinner.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's Krishna's arrangement.
Yeah, because the arrangement is like that when old age and disease comes more, that we realize that our time's running out. That's what we should realize, our time's running out. And now that I have to get more serious about spiritual life, we have to realize that. And that's what Vidura in the Mahabharata, Vidura was telling Dhritarashtra, the blind king, the father of Duryodhana, that look, mate, your hair's gone white. And your teeth are becoming loose.
Yeah.
Your eyes don't work anymore. You can't digest. So this is the sign time's running out. He said you should leave the kingdom. You should give up this idea of being the king and go to the forest and prepare for death.
He was so attached.
But he's so attached, even though the signs were there.
Yes.
Time's running out. Old age is like, just like on the road, you have the green, orange, and red. Yes. So old age is like orange.
Yes.
And red means death. So just before the red comes, the orange comes. That's supposed to tell you, get ready to stop. Be prepared to stop. So that means old age is telling you, be prepared. Death is just around the corner. Like that, and we should get it more serious. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
but
more.
Very hard to explain. Woman doesn't want to feel old. Doesn't want to believe that she's getting old.
Yeah, that's why it's said that women are less intelligent. Because it's harder for them to understand.
Thank God the Bhakti Mala went. Otherwise, if she listens, she'll have a go with you.
No. But however, therefore, the process is that the woman would follow a man. The woman would follow a man, and the man is following his guru. Yeah. So that way everyone's connected to someone more intelligent.
But Western country, the woman is just shoulder to shoulder to the man. He said, no follow. I'm equal.
Not all are like that, but yeah, most. That's the way the training is there. And that's why, it's so many difficulties there, not following these things. But now, the problem is the women don't want to follow the man because the man's also not qualified anymore. So we can't really just blame the woman. We also have to blame the man that, you got to get it together. You should have been a brahmachari and get proper training from a guru and develop the right.
Everybody wants their wife like a Sita, but they're not a Ram.
I know.
You're expecting a Sita.
So you can't just point one way because it's going both ways,
That's right.
So it's Kali Yuga. Neither the man is qualified, neither the woman is qualified. So it's all mixed up. That's why we say Varna Sankara. Everyone's all confused,
That's right.
Like that, very confused.
But Yuga also arranged by Krishna. Dwapar, Treta. Yuga also arranged by Krishna. Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Kali Yuga is all.
I think Kali Yuga is there because he knows there's going to be some souls that are rebels. This is for the real 100%. Rebels in Kali Yuga. 100%. We don't want to follow rules. We don't want to have to follow all the rules. So in Kali Yuga, you can do anything. And another Yuga, you would not be allowed to break the rules. The king would come with his sword. Like when Kali attacked the cow and the bull, you can read that in first canto Bhagavatam. When Kali was dressing up as a king and attacking on the legs of the cow and the bull, then Parikshit Maharaj, he came with his sword and said, look, mate, I'm going to kill you. You're not allowed to do this. I'm going to kill you. And the only reason why Kali wasn't killed on the spot is because he surrendered to the king. like that. But in previous ages, you weren't allowed to just do whatever you like. You had to follow the laws of God.
Yeah.
You had to follow religion like that. But in Kali Yuga, it's like anything goes.
Yeah.
You know, anything goes. And we don't even have how it's become so corrupt mainly is because our leaders are corrupt. Because the leaders are corrupt, then everything underneath is corrupt. If the leader on top is good, everything underneath is good. If the leader on top is bad, everything underneath is bad. So this is one of the main symptoms of Kali Yuga, is that leaders are all corrupt. The Brahmanas, there's not proper Brahmanas, and then there's the Kshatriyas also not, and mostly everyone's Sudras working for somebody else. And so these are the symptoms of Kali Yuga. But that age is there, very degraded, because that's what we wanted. You know, we wanted to be able to be free to do whatever we want.
Well,
just like in the
yeah, I can only see, I'm not in the position to change the leaders. All I can do, just chant Hare Krishna, that's it. I can't change the leaders. Whatever they're doing, that's their karma. I've got to do just chant Hare Krishna, that's it. Whatever they do, they put the taxes and all the things there and things. Whatever they're doing, every country become a corporation. They're trying to do businesses, selling the weapons and all that. Like Australia lost a deal for $90 billion submarines. There was first deal was with the French. Now it's with America. And the French and Australia relation goes a bit, sour, because he said, well, there was a deal with us. And there was a different prime minister. And then that changed that prime minister. And then he was close to American, we are American ally, and the deal went to America. And France get upset because it's just like a complete business, $90 billion submarine deal. There's a lot of money. That's the thing, it's just like, and I'm the small fish. I just pay my tax, open my mouth for the food, and chant Hare Krishna. Because I'm not in the position, I'm not in the parliament. They're the big shark there. I'm a small fish. There's a big shark in parliament. I'm nowhere near that. I just chant Hare Krishna and feed. That's it. Anyway, so where did Bhaktivala disappear?
I don't
she's
know.
coming.
That's right.
She's coming. I can see she's coming.
Sorry, I had a phone call.
Oh, you important,
no
very important, lesson
sorry.
you missed. Oh.
No, we went off sidetrack. Off sidetrack.
Okay.
I just had to, I've been waiting for that call for 2 weeks, so.
No, that's it.
No, that's all good. That's all good.
Okay,
that's
we read that.
Yeah, so this verse is giving us the criteria of, like Gulshan was saying, karma, right? So this is giving us the criteria of getting free from all bad karma. Sins means bad karma. Okay, so what's the criteria from being all free from all bad karma? We have to know 3 things: that God is Krishna, and that Krishna is unborn. He has no birth and no beginning, and that he's the supreme Lord of everything. And only that person that knows these 3 things is sinless. This is everyone else is sinful. If we don't know God, exactly who God is, and what the nature of God is, the qualities of God are, like this mentioned here, then we're sinful. Yeah, we're sinful. Like I said, just that basic idea that we turn away from God, that's the original sin. That's the original sin. Even the Christians say in the Bible, right, that we disobeyed God, and he told us don't eat the apple, and Adam went and ate the apple. So that was his mistake, that he disobeyed God. He turned away from it. He wanted to enjoy, right? He wanted to enjoy that apple without God, right? So there's the same principle that I mentioned. If we turn away from God and want to enjoy separately from God, that's sinful. So that's the original. So anyone that doesn't know God, that's forgotten God, is sinful. We might say, well, they're a very nice person. They dress very nicely. They look very nicely. They work in a hospital helping sick people, or they're teaching in a school helping educate kids or something like that. And they're very clean and they're very well mannered. They speak very nicely. Yes, sir. Yes, madam, and everything like that. But no, they're sinful. If they've turned away from God, they've turned away from God like that. That's sinful. So this is the way we need to understand things, is from God's point of view. This is Krishna speaking. So this Krishna is saying, that if we're ignorant of him, then that's sinful, like that. So we have to turn back to God and understand God, and only then we get free from all sins. Only then we get free from sins. And only when we get free from all sins, then we can take to the path of devotional service. As long as we're sinful, ignorant of God, we can't serve God. First thing we need to do is accept that what is the position of God, that he is the master and I'm his servant. Only when we accept that we're God's servant, then we can serve God. Doesn't it? That makes sense, right? It's logical. How can you serve someone if you don't accept them as superior to you? That they're your master. So first of all, we have to accept Krishna's position that he's God, and then naturally we can, engage in devotional service. If we don't accept that,
hold any grudges towards us, but not for turning away from him. He just forgives us.
Yeah, definitely. He always loves us. There's no question of him loving us, but he can't really do anything to help us while we're turning away. Does that make sense? So while we've turned away from him, he can't really do anything to help us. But when we turn back, then he can help us. But only we can make that choice whether we turn away from him or turn towards him. He is trying to help us to turn back, though. Do you know how, for someone that's turned away from him, how he's helping us to turn back?
Yes, devotees are.
Yep. Devotees. He's sending the devotees to help us turn back. And also he's arranging that the material world is full of suffering. So that is also helping us to turn back. Because through the suffering, that's crushing, like we read in that 1868, the false ego. And the false ego, we're thinking, I am the enjoyer, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, I am the controller, I am the master, I am the best, I am the biggest, I am the most important. So the sufferings crush that false ego, crush a bit more, crush a bit more, crush a bit more. You get this sickness, old age comes, relationships fall apart, lose the money, the house gets burnt down, thieves come. So many one after another. We've talked about that in the very first talks we gave. We did a seminar when we started the soul searching about the threefold miseries, the Adhyatmic klesha, Adhidaivic klesha, and Adhibhautic klesha. So some miseries, Adhyatmic is the body and mind. We get miseries through the body and mind. And then you get miseries from other living entities. That's called Adhibhautic klesha. Like the mosquito bite, the dog bite, some other person becomes your enemy, like that family member goes against you and hurts you or whatever. And then Adhidaivic, that means from the nature itself, the demigods. You get the heavy heat, heavy cold, heavy rain, tornadoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, you name it, from nature itself. So constantly these three things. And that's why Shiva and Durga have that trishu, that three-pronged spear.
Trident.
Yeah, trident. That is these Adhyatmic, Adhidaivic, Adhibhautic kleshas. They're constantly poking us with these things. And that's having the positive effect. There's a reason for that. That's having a positive effect, that it's breaking down that false ego, breaking down that pride, making us more humble, to the point where we can turn back towards Krishna. And then when the Guru says, or Krishna says, that Krishna's the master and we're his servant, then you can accept that. You can, because now because of the suffering, you've become humble. You've become humble. And that's the beginning of Vedic education, is to become humble. As we say, Trinadapi Sanashana, Torori Vasushnana, Amanina marinina kirtaniya sarahari. Lord Chaitanya said, a devotee should be more humble than the grass, more tolerant than the tree, give all respect to others, don't expect any respect in return. In such a state of mind, one can always chant the holy name of the Lord like that. So that's the prescription. To be able to chant all the time, we have to become humble. And all these miseries, help that to happen like that. So there is a reason why there's suffering. It has that positive effect to bring down the pride. If we weren't so proud, and turning away from Krishna, that wouldn't be necessary. But this is unfortunately what's required. Even I heard Prabhupada say the other day, there's that saying, right? Spare the rod, spoil the child. Have you heard that before? Spare the rod, spoil the child. Means the rod means stick. So sometime the parent would maybe hit the child with the stick a bit, but not even hit the child with a stick, just show the stick. Just show the stick. Look, if you do that, I'm going to whack you, and you wouldn't even do it, like that. Like it used to be the old days in the school, that the headmaster would have a cane or a belt, right? And hardly ever he would use it. But that was always in the back of the kid's mind, that if I stepped over the line, the headmaster would whack me with the cane or the belt.
I was with a different story with my dad. He doesn't show that. Just he believe in action. That's it. I don't even know. It doesn't show that if you do this. No, man. If I did something, I get that right there and I smack no matter what. But anyway.
Yeah. But the principle of that was to put us on the straight path, on the straight and narrow path. Because when we go off track, why did Mother Yashoda tie Krishna up with ropes to a wooden grinding mortar? Because he was naughty. She didn't want him to be naughty and do wrong things. So that was her good intention as a mother.
But Krishna want to see the mother's love. That's why he become a naughty. Krishna knows that if I'm a naughty, I can see the true love of Yashoda.
Yeah.
He want to see the true love. That's why he become a naughty.
Yeah. So that was the principle. The parents would discipline the children was out of love, not because they hate the child. Of course, they don't enjoy, hitting the child or anything, but they did it out of love so that they don't go down the path of being sinful and doing wrong things like that. I've told you the story before, just to remind you that one kid, he started doing wrong things and the mother never corrected. And then as he grew older, the wrong things got worse and worse and worse. And it was never corrected. And when he became fully grown adult, he did something which the result was the death penalty. And just before he's about to be executed, generally they would have one last request, one last wish. So his last wish was to talk to his mother. So the mother was brought there. And he indicated to the mother, come closer, come closer, come closer. Like he wanted to say something to her in her ear. So she put her ear close to his mouth, and then he bit her ear off. And then when she's screaming and saying, why did you bite my ear off? He said, because when I was young, your duty was to correct me, and you never did that. You never did that. So I went off track and you never corrected it. And now I have to die because of that. So that was the whole principle of a parent being, disciplining the children like that, or the teacher disciplining the students, or the guru disciplining the disciple, was that they keep them on the right track and that they won't suffer, because otherwise they're going to suffer if they go off the right path. So they only want the person underneath them to become happy. So that was and it's called, there's a saying for that, tough love. Sometimes the love is not so all cuddles and kisses. Sometimes the love can be a slap, so it can be a bit tough. But that's real love, that you're thinking about the long term. There's two things in the Vedas. There's prayas, which means short-term happiness, and then shreyas, long-term happiness. So P and S, prayas and shreyas. So prayas is short term and shreyas is long term. So, you know, the parent, the teacher, the guru is thinking, I want them to be happy in the long term. But we're only thinking, we're so dumb that we're only thinking about the short term happiness. And that's the difficulty. So we need someone that's thinking long term and sometimes we have to go through some bit of, you know, a bit of a slap to help to come to that long term. Prabhupada tells when he was a young kid, he didn't want to go to school and that he wanted to play, and as we normally do, and that his father was very soft-hearted and very lenient, and he didn't put too much pressure, but the mother wasn't so lenient. And the mother got their servant, because in Indian culture traditionally they had servants. So the mother got their servant to drag little Prabhupada to school against his wishes. But Prabhupada's pointing out that's the right thing to do. You know, sometimes you need a bit of dragging like that because, you know, we just want to enjoy like that. Yeah, so this is how we come to the platform of being sinless. We need to understand God's position, that he's unborn, beginningless, and the supreme Lord. And Prabhupada pointed out the last paragraph we read that although Krishna is known as the son of Devaki, but that actually, so in one sense, well, how can he be God? Because he has a mother and father, but this verse says he's not born. But then son of Devaki and Vasudeva would seem to indicate that he has a mother and father, means he was born. But then in the purport here, Prabhupada says he was not born as an ordinary child. He appeared in his original form, and then he transformed himself into an ordinary child. So so this is what we need to know. This is what we need to know, that Krishna is not an ordinary human being like us that has parents like us. He appeared in his original eternal form, just appeared in front of his mother and father, not shoved out of the womb, covered in blood and like that, crying, but fully dressed and with garland and ornaments and everything like that. So this is the kind of knowledge we need to become sinless. Otherwise, we are still sinful. And the idea is when we have this knowledge, then we'll surrender to Krishna, realizing that he's God. Okay? So, Bhakti Mala, you want to read the purport? Anything? Done.
I don't know where we are.
Halfway to the last paragraph, big paragraph, last one of the purport. Or Gulshan, if you're ready, you can read it.
Oh, anything done. Oh, yeah, yeah. Anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. It cannot be contaminated.
Hang on. Here you go. This is the answer to Gulshan's question. So anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. So that's the thing. If it's done under Krishna's direction, it's transcendental. If it's not done under Krishna's direction, that's your karma.
How do you find out?
If Krishna comes and tells Gulshan, I want you to marry this person, then that's transcendental. But if it's just popping up in our head, oh, she looks good, I want to, you know.
But how do we know it's not Krishna's direction, or it's how do we know that?
If you don't know, that means it's your mind. If you do know, there's no doubt. I mean, if it was Krishna's direction, you would have zero doubt. You would have absolutely zero. Absolutely zero. Like, I'll tell you what, I've told you before, but this is a reminder. One guy asked Prabhupada, how do you write your purports? And Prabhupada said, Krishna tells me what to write. That blew the guy's head apart. He didn't understand. The devotee tried to make it easier for him to understand, said to the man, what Prabhupada means is that Krishna's in his heart and Krishna's telling him what to write from in his heart. Prabhupada stopped the devotee, said, no, Krishna's sitting next to me, telling me what to write. Now, not only the guy's head was blown apart, but the devotee's head was blown apart. If you're fully Krishna conscious, means Krishna is right there with you, telling you what to do and what not to do. If you don't know for sure, that means it's the mind. If it is really Krishna, there's not one speck of doubt in your consciousness. If you have a doubt, that means it's not Krishna. That's your mind, like that.
Well, you do get a doubt in everything you do every day in the life, where you're buying the vegetable, or should I go for this shop to have that maybe a cheaper, or maybe everything you have a doubt in your mind. Or if I do this one, would I get the benefit? If I don't do this one, if I get service my car, or maybe if I buy this clothes, no, go for the Kmart, the cheaper. Of course, you get a doubt every day, like what do we eat?
Where do doubts come from?
Oh, don't know. It's like
from ignorance. Come from ignorance.
Ignorance, but you can use your brain. They said, don't use the brain, then no ignorance. You got to use the brain, and the doubt will come. Or what should I eat? I should the chia seeds more than the wholemeal flour, because that's what I've seen on the internet or Google. But like it always comes in there, what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat.
If you have full knowledge, then there's no doubts. The only reason why we have doubts is because we don't have full knowledge.
You're never going to get full knowledge until death. I don't think so. Anyone can say, yes, I do have full knowledge. No one.
Yeah, well, you couldn't have full knowledge of everything you need to know. The main thing is to know everything. Like I don't know how an iPhone 11 works.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to know that. But I know who Krishna is and what my relationship is with Krishna, and how to serve Krishna 9 different ways and all these things. So whatever you need to know, you should know that, and then like that. So it's not that you have to know the ingredients of every food in the supermarket. That's not necessary to know. Right. But you have to know how to get back to Godhead.
Yeah.
Like that.
To chant Hare Krishna, that's it.
Yeah, so that's what you need. And there's no doubts about that. Do you have any doubt about how to get back to Godhead?
No.
Yeah, so that's good, right? Do you have any doubts that Krishna's God? There shouldn't be there. So if we do, then we need to hear more. If we do, and there will be even devotees that have doubts.
If I do have a doubt, I wouldn't be in the class. If I have a doubt.
Yeah. But like you say, it might not be 100% clear. Like it wasn't 100% clear before about whose arrangement it is.
Yeah.
We're thinking everything's Krishna's arrangement, but no, not very few things are Krishna's arrangement in the material world. Mostly it's our arrangements that Krishna's carrying out.
Yeah.
So, we agree, ultimately everything's arranged by Krishna, but not everything is arranged the way he wants. But Krishna consciousness means arranging it in the way that he wants, not in the way that you want, like that. So these things need to be cleared up, because these are like doubts that we have. So that's why we need to hear more. But basic things, devotee knows that Krishna's God, we're his servant, and we should chant Hare Krishna to go back to Godhead. But then there's a few other details that's good to know also. And mainly it's good to know these details because you'll get people that ask you questions. Like that. So like, you ask a bit of a, what do you call it, a twirly question, you might get a bit confused, so you asked me and I knew the answer, so I can answer it. But like you've been discussing it, you said in your circles, and you couldn't get a clear answer, or even a wrong answer, like that. So for preaching, if you want to be a preacher, you have to know more, because people are going to ask you lots of questions, and if you don't know the answer, then you're going to get stuck, You're going to get stuck. And do you know what happens if you don't clearly know the answer? Do you know what to do?
Ask your senior. Ask your guru.
No, but if someone's asking you something, if you don't 100% clearly know the answer, do you know what to do?
I'll say I'll get back to you.
Yep. Or it's 3 words. I don't know.
No.
It's very simple. Don't make something up on the spot. Don't improvise. It could be maybe if Prabhupada, you'll notice, never use the word maybe, or could be. But I believe. I believe.
Prabhupada was a great, scholar. It's not great teacher, great, soul. We are nowhere near that. So anyway, but if somebody will say, I don't. If I say I don't know, they will say, you know what? Shut your mouth and go and learn something. Anyway.
I mean, when I first joined, because I was hearing classes and the devotees were saying, 2 main things you have to avoid is material desires and mental speculation, and that was mentioned a lot. You have to. Oh, I know what happened there. Have to avoid mental speculation. So when I heard that, you're not allowed to speculate. So devotees would ask me something, Bhakti Aaron, what's this? And I'd say, I don't know. Oh, Bhakti Aaron, what happened over there? I don't know. So I keep saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And then sometimes they get sick of hearing me saying, I don't know, but then that's what we should do. If you don't know, don't pretend that you do know. So it's either you know or you don't know. It's not something in the middle. It's either you know or you don't know. That's the best way to be.
But for the Indian, you ask any direction, they don't know, but they will tell. Especially Indians.
Cheating. That's called cheating.
Indians are like that, they without even asking, given the suggestion, you ask them,
go this way.
You ask Jayanti, she'll tell you. Indians are like that, and they don't believe in I don't know, because when they say I don't know, that ego hurts. You say, how come I say I don't know? And the ego get powerful, and then trying to give it a direction or trying to teaching you things like that because the ego.
Yeah.
But be honest, I don't know.
But for a devotee, we're supposed to act in our true ego, which is humility, that I'm the servant. So we should be happy. We should be happy to say I don't know. I mean, I'm very small. I'm very insignificant. What do I know? I only joined the Hare Krishna movement a few weeks before. I don't know anything. That's what I'm realizing now. I don't know anything. I'm just like
even I'm in the Hare Krishnas for the last 5, 7, 8 years. Still, I don't know some things. I can't say I know everything. I can't say that I know everything. No.
Yeah. So that's the best way to be. Always be very humble. Always thinking that I'm ignorant. And then if you're like an empty pot, then there's a possibility you can get filled up.
That's right. Yeah.
But if you're already full, then you can't put anything more in there.
Yeah, that's right. You always, because you don't, if you say, I know, that means you close the door for learning.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, of course. But Bhaktimala disappeared.
So you can finish it off.
I can, okay.
Yeah.
Anything done under that, it cannot be contaminated by material reaction, which may be auspicious or inauspicious. The conception that there are things auspicious and inauspicious in the material world is more or less a mental concussion, because there is nothing auspicious in the concoction, because there is nothing auspicious in the material world. Everything is inauspicious because the very material nature is inauspicious. We simply imagine it to be auspicious.
Auspicious means good, and inauspicious means bad.
The real auspiciousness depends on activities in Krishna consciousness in full devotion and service. Therefore, if we at all want our activities to be auspicious, then we should work under the direction of Supreme Lord. Such directions are given in authoritative scriptures such as Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, or from a bona fide spiritual master, because the spiritual master is the representative of the Supreme Lord. his direction is directly the direction of Supreme Lord. The spiritual master's saintly person and scriptures direct in the same way. There is no contradiction in these three sources. All action done under such direction are free from the reaction of pious or impious activities of material world. The transcendental attitude of the devotee is the performance of activities is actually that of renunciation, and this is called sannyasa. As stated in the first verse of the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, one who acts as a matter of duty because he has been done ordered to do so by the Supreme Lord, and who does not seek shelter in the fruit of activities, is the true renouncer. Anyone act under the direction of the Supreme Lord is actually sannyasi and yogi, and not the man who simply taken the direct dress of a sannyasi or pseudo yogi.
Yeah. Pseudo yogi means a pretender. Pretender yogi.
Yeah.
So this is actually amazing that we're reading this, because this is exactly answering your question from before.
Yes.
So yeah,
how come this happened? You tell me. I had a question, and this is the answer, and today's verse and today's class.
Yeah,
what do you say about that?
This is a living scripture. This is alive.
This is the Krishna. This is the Krishna direction, isn't it? Gulshan has got a question, and the verse comes that
the answer's right there. You just have to pick up the book.
Yeah, that's right.
Have to pick up the book.
So it's all Krishna's arrangement. It says like, Gulshan, you got a question, and today's the verse you got to answer. Yeah. How good is that?
Yeah.
How come you're not believing he's the Supreme Lord? Simple as. He's residing inside you.
Yeah.
And then whoever doing the question, I'm doing the question, but he's residing inside in a drop, and he's the ocean. Yeah, it's perfect. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So the activity has to be carried out under the direction of Krishna. Now, Prabhupada's explaining that further in the purport, that to be able to do what Krishna wants means practically, how are you going to know if Krishna's not right here with you? So how are you going to know what Krishna wants? He mentions Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So the spiritual master, the saintly devotees, the sadhus, and the Shastra, the scriptures.
Not the one who already just put that saffron cloth, not that. Anyone can put saffron cloth.
Sannyasi, So it has to be actual guru, actual devotees, actual scripture. So if you work under their direction, then that's Krishna's direction. Krishna's direction is the direction given by the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And the three of those should match up. If the Guru says something different than the scripture, then there's something wrong. If the Sadhu says something different than the scripture, there's something wrong. So all three of them should be the same thing. What the scriptures say should be the same thing as what the sadhu says, the guru says, should be all lining up. So you have three checks. If you only have one check, that's not as safe. As two checks is better than one, and three checks is better than two. So if you have three, then it's more stronger. Just like if you had one leg, you're going to be tottering. Two legs is better. Three is even more. And like the animal that has four legs is even more better.
So the Prabhupada is all three, because he's a bona fide spiritual master, and he's a sadhu, and he's a yogi. Is it?
Well, and the scripture is the other one, but the guru is the one who knows the scripture. So whatever the guru is speaking should be exactly the same as the scripture. Yeah. And many times I can hear a lecture of Prabhupada, and you can realize that it seems like he's talking a conversation, but actually I can pick it out that, that was from Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, what he just said. That was from Chaitanya Charitamrita. That was from Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter. That was from Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter. So he's like talking normally, but it's actually just the scripture coming out of his mouth.
Mentioned that Shastra,
Yeah, everything is from scripture. There's nothing that's not from scripture. And to say, this is what Rupa Goswami said this, and this is what Chanakya Pandit said this, and this is what Shiva said this, Brahma said this, so it's all just as a living scripture. The spiritual master is like the living scripture. So they know the scriptures, they follow the scriptures, and they teach by the scriptures. So it's all connected like that. They practice it in their own life and they teach that to others. If you know it, but you don't practice it, that's not good. If you know the scripture, but you don't practice it, that's not good.
Yeah.
If you know it and you teach it, but you don't practice it, that's not good. If you know it and you don't teach it, that's not good. If you teach it, but you don't know it or practice it, that's not good. So you should be knowing it and you practice it and then you teach it. So knowing it, that's called gyan. Knowing it, that's gyan. If you practice it, that's called vigyan.
Yeah.
And if you're teaching it, that's called guru. Guru means teacher. So that should be before you can teach it, you have to know it. Then you practice it in your own life, apply it. Then you tell it to others. But in Kali Yuga, normally you tell it to others without knowing it, without practicing it. And so I'm a big teacher.
But I think if you know it and if you don't practice it, the other person will not follow you. Because that's not a truth. Because the truth is a Krishna. If I don't do 16 round and I tell other people to do 16 round, they will not follow. If I do 16 round, there is some power comes out of the truth. And the other person will start believing that. Yes. Because if you don't practice it, they don't believe in you. 100%.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But anyway.
Yeah. Nice one. Hey, Gulshan, I have to go now. I've got these walkers wanting to eat.
That's okay.
But lovely to see you again.
Nice to see you. I'll see you in Hare Krishna next week.
Yes. Take care.